February the 8th, 2018. I don't have much battery on my phone, to let you know and stuff. Let's see if I can't cut this video pretty quick. I wanted to holler at y'all about something. I just received a comment from a lovely young lady by the name of Pinky, on my channel. And it was actually a comment from a video I done a long time ago in regards to Caitlin Nicole Davis, in which I was discussing her at great length. Um, the fact is, I think I know what exactly was going on prior to her suicide. And I went off on a tangent basically about how it's a lie. It's a lie that led her to suicide, and that lie was that you're alone. That's the lie that Satan's going to tell in your ear. Right? He's going to make sure to tell you. And he's going to see what happens. Right? It's a lie that a lot of people succumb to. It's a very long video. Anyways, the lovely young lady, Pinky, she left me a comment. She said, she's been struggling with that sort of thing. Back last night, even she said she thought about it. She thought about just ending it. Instead, she told me, that my video, for whatever reason, helped her out, and it helps her out. And she said, thank you, and stuff. Her comment says something, it said a few sentences, and one of them was, something along the lines of sometimes it's hard to smile away the pain. I would agree. Sometimes it is very hard to smile away the pain. Sometimes you'd be in a room full of people and still feel alone. All right. Thing is, I have made a video or two in regards to the danger in smiling and laughing, stuff like this. There's danger to it. Right. That being said, I smile a lot. You'll catch me laughing a number of times during the day, probably. All right, but yet and still, I want that to be crystal clear when I say, I'm not trying to mince words when I say smiling could be very dangerous. Laughing could be very dangerous. All right, especially when it's inappropriate. Because a lot of people will tell you, a lot of very smart people like my homeboy in Tasmania will tell you, um, it's just inappropriate. There's certain natural instances when people smile and when people laugh, right? Just be very brief. People smile and laugh during victory. Usually it's bloodshed. I mean, when you consider human history, lots of times it's warfare. At the end, the ones who won, the people who are still alive, they might be laughing. They might be smiling and carrying on, right? In other instances, it's also appropriate, like in very awkward situations. It's always been appropriate to laugh. The situations where you don't exactly know what to do, you're just befuddled by like Logan Paul in that forest. He started laughing because he did not know what else to do. It's actually kind of appropriate to laugh in certain instances. In certain instances, right? But I want to go ahead and take out the time to kind of delve into that a little bit more, maybe touch on some points that I hadn't made. So I want to tell you about a lady who I know. And I'm just sure you can piece it together. I'm not going to name names, all right? But there's a lady who I know. I want to tell you about her briefly. All right, she's an older lady. She's getting up there in age. All right, I don't want to get into too much detail, but she don't have a husband. She ain't never gonna get no husband. All right, and I don't say that to be harsh. I'm saying she really doesn't have the capabilities what it takes to keep a husband. All right, and whether or not she understands that, that is definitely the case. All right, so she's kind of the typical older lady out here these days who has no idea, not a clue how to keep a husband. She's been married a couple times, right? They've ended for various reasons and stuff. I'm not going to get into it. But suffice it to say, she just doesn't have what it takes, right? And a lot of people don't have what it takes. I probably don't have what it takes to keep a wife, all right? I'm not saying that to judge her. I'm just saying that is the case, all right? Biologically speaking, it's actually kind of bad for her that she can't keep, because biologically speaking, her body cries out for a husband, right? Just as women's bodies have been doing for many, 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 many generations now. It's just in their DNA. Their body cries out for a husband. they don't have a husband, well, they ain't gonna have peace really. Right? And that's just a biological sense. That's not to say all women, but most women. Right? Not all, but most. Right? They need a husband biologically speaking and stuff. Else they just can't be at peace. Right? So I say that just to lay the groundwork for this lady. Like I said, kind of typical older lady, a spinster. Is kind of celebrated on the television nowadays. I don't know if you caught it, but many television shows will be celebrating old ladies who absolutely cannot keep a husband, and they make it funny and they laugh about it. And it's all supposed to be very funny. Right? But I'm not going to get into it too much. Like I said, her body cries out for a husband. Right? But she's taught, by popular culture, such as television, that it's actually cool not to be able to keep a husband. It's actually very funny to not be able to cook really, not really know how to clean, and the things that a wife traditionally knows how to do. That's not cool anymore. It's cool to be an old spinster, all right, because it's very funny, like these funny sitcoms. Right? So she's in a stage of her life now where she's playing that out. She is an old spinster, all right. Just to give you an example, all right, you might find it's difficult. By the way, what I'm going to say throughout the entirety of the rest of this video is going to be offensive to somebody. It's going to offend a whole bunch of people. All right, so just to let you know, she's an old spinster. She can't keep a husband at all. Biologically, her body cries out for one. Mentally speaking, she's told otherwise through the television because she loves it. That is her husband, television, right? So she watches the television just constantly, right? Constantly, and also she has dogs, right? And the thing is, like I said, I want to offend people, but she kisses the dogs on the mouth and stuff, and they kiss her in the mouth, and just weird stuff that I find to be weird. Right? I step back and I go, kissing dogs on the mouth. That's not my. I mean, it's all preference, really. If y'all like kiss dogs on the mouth, I'm not judging you for it or anything, but what I'm saying is her body cries out for a husband. There is no husband there. All right, so she takes various avenues to try and relieve that pressure. She's got dogs, kissing them on the mouth, all right? So it is going that far, all right? I laid all that groundwork just to say this, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, she's in depression mode. It's very easy to trigger her depression. She's always anxious, always like, she's got her habits where I know when she's anxious, and it's most of the time. All right. Always anxious, can't sleep at night. All sort of things. All sort of things. All right. Biologically, I know that if she had a husband, it probably wouldn't be all these problems in her life. But you can't tell certain people. You have to let them live their life. You could suggest this and that, but if they don't listen, then they don't listen. All right. So, all right, we're gonna get into the laughter and the smiling, right? Because I want to drive this home. Right. Like I said, stares at the television for the entirety of basically all her life. Stares at the television, and what she looks for on the television is stuff that entertains her, takes her mind away, so that she doesn't have to think about the thoughts that are inside her head. She wants the thoughts coming from outside. I'm not judging her or calling her a terrible person. What I'm saying is she doesn't want to think thoughts on the inside of her head because that will trigger her depression. So she stares at a television because she allows the thoughts to come from outside and into her head. She doesn't want to think her own thoughts. She only wants to think the thoughts coming from the television. All right. So there's many various programs that go on. Usually it's about murder and rapes. I don't know why, but older ladies, and I've seen it out there, they love to watch the murders and rapes all day long. I can't take it. I personally can't take it because I actually look into the real stories. They love to fantasize. There's fantasy shows about murders and rapes, y'all. Believe it or not, I see it constantly, right? But like I said, the smiling and the laughter, I want to talk about that. All right. In particular, there's a show that's supposedly the number one show in America. I really don't know if it is. The Big Bang Theory. All right. I want to talk about that specifically. I want to talk to that point, because there's a lot of shows just like it, but I want to talk to you about the Big Bang Theory. This lady, like I said, very much in depression mode. All right, I can't talk her out of it. The thing is, she'll watch the Big Bang Theory, and what I want to explain to you is that she'll cackle at it. She'll laugh and laugh and laugh her pretty head off at the Big Bang Theory. All right. See, the thought process is laughter is going to relieve my depression, right? If I keep laughing and thinking things are funny, well, then obviously that's the opposite of depression and it will get me out. No, no, it won't, because you're going to spend an inordinate amount of time laughing and cackling. Meanwhile, you're still not going to be able to sleep at night. You're still not going to have peace. That's not going to do a dang thing. In fact, I got to tell you, it's going to do the opposite. And the Big Bang Theory is actually a perfect example, because not only is laughter inappropriate during that show because it's not funny. If you really stop to think about it, nothing in the show is funny. I've seen like and heard shows off in the distance while I'm trying to ignore them. What I can tell you about this is nothing in the show is funny at all. It's all kind of gender confused and sexually perverse, to be honest with you. But nothing about it is funny. The punchlines and stuff, which are every other line, what they are is witty. They're witty sayings. People will say witty things, and then that's when people are supposed to laugh. It's supposed to be a comedy that way. All right. So whenever every other sentence that people say on that show is supposed to be witty, and it kind of is, and people are supposed to laugh at it like it's funny. It's really not funny, though, to be honest with you. And it is a perfect example, because it ain't nobody laughing at that show. That's what really trips me out. There's nobody laughing. You want to go and watch the show right now on TV right now? I'm sure it's going to be on one of the channels. Go find The Big Bang Theory and understand that nobody's laughing. There ain't no people laughing at this. You understand? It won't take you very long to figure out that's robots. I mean it. It's a machine. That's technology. It's not people laughing at all. Every other sentence, they say something witty. They push a button. Robot laughter. And it's back in the day, they used to have like in studio audiences. Like during Family Matters and stuff like this, they used to have audiences of people who actually laughed at Married with Children. That's not the case with Big Bang Theory. There are no people laughing. It's pretty much just a show saying slightly witty things, telling you when to laugh, telling you. All right. It's a downward spiral. The whole show is very depressing when you really think about it. The fact that those actors even think that they're funny, and they're not. They're not funny. They're just being convinced that they are funny with robot laughter and big paychecks. All right. I want to point that show out, because you might laugh and cackle your whole head off during that show, which doesn't make any sense because ain't nobody else laughing with you. All right, you should feel embarrassed, but you don't even know. You figure it is real people. No, it's not real people laughing. Most of these shows have robot laughter, if you haven't noticed. Most of these reality shows are totally made up fiction. All right, and it's disgusting. It's a total waste of time. And I know I found a lot of people, if you watch television, you're wasting your time. I'm sorry about it. But I want to talk about that laughter. See, people think that it's the opposite of depression. No, it is not. In fact, it is depression. Laughter, you might notice, and I said it before, I'll say it again, a lot of stand-up comedians battle with depression. All right? Does that mean anything to you? That a lot of stand-up comedians, way more than per capita in the general population, suffer and battle with depression. I wonder why that is. Meanwhile, Big Bang Theory ain't even funny at all. It's not funny. It's robot laughter. All right? So, the laughter in and of itself is inappropriate. All right? Won't lead you away from depression. Will actually lead you headlong into depression. Because what it is a distraction. What you're trying to do is to not think the thoughts in your head, and hopefully someone tells you something funny from the outside. And you get that thought in your head and you start to laugh. It is a distraction, because it's not going to fix whatever problem's going on in your life, in your spirit. Not going to fix it. It's merely going to put it off until you stop laughing, and then guess what? You're in a worse situation. You're even in more depression at that point. Because it's inappropriate. I know you've been told that it's very appropriate. It isn't. I know you've been told in school, oh, you laugh now. You've been told by the television, laugh now. You laugh now, and your life will be good. No, it ain't. It's a band-aid on cancer. It does not make no difference. In fact, it'll drive you further into depression. I've seen it. I keep seeing it. All right. It is a constant. That is the rule. All right. Now I've had people, very, very good viewers of mine, tell me, a lot of times I watch stuff that's funny, and I like, it's all comedy bad. The thing is, I'm not saying that comedy is bad, y'all. All right, that's not what I'm saying. I like to see comedy myself from time to time. The thing is, basically, it's the inverse of tragedy. If you ever seen those masks, the laugh now, cry later. Comedy is the inverse of tragedy. It holds hands with tragedy. Without tragedy, there ain't no comedy. That's what I'm here to tell you. All right, without tragedy, it ain't no comedy, and vice versa. All right, it won't get you out of depression. This smiling and laughing. A lot of people, if you walk around with a frown, people will be like, hey, why don't you buck up and smile? Why don't you buck up and smile? Because that's going to fix your problems. No, it's not going to fix your problems. This is why people think that they're alone a lot. This is what, like I said, you could be in a room full of people, just packed to the brim full of people, and you could feel absolutely alone. And maybe you are. Maybe you are alone in that room, because maybe people don't have the time to really, maybe people will tell you to buck up and smile like that's going to fix your problem. And obviously they don't have any clue about your problem. All right. Thing is, I personally don't know about your problem either. Everybody out there who's individuals, y'all all got individual problems. I really can't tell you the answer, what's going to answer your problem. But I can tell you that as far as getting away from depression goes, there's an ebb and flow to it. Right? There's a sincere ebb and flow to it that needs to be respected. For example, you could be in a bad spot. You could be feeling really depressed, all right? And then you might go to the YouTube and you might look up Dave Chappelle stand-up, or you might look up this and that funny videos on the internet, and they might make you laugh, and that'll make you feel good. I understand that. It makes me feel good too, right? I do the same thing from time to time. It's an ebb and flow to it. If you find that going to comedy and laughing makes you feel good for that particular moment, I want you to stop and think about that, because you know for a fact that your depression is going to come back later. And you know that the laughter and the smiling, that ain't going to do nothing to stop it. Not anything, right? It's an ebb and a flow to it. All right. What I would suggest is go to that stand-up comedy, find the laughter, go to whatever you think is funny, and laugh a little bit. Laugh a little bit, because the thing is, you need to let off that tension. All right. That's imperative, because you're in a spot where tension is building up, pressure is building up, anxiety is building up, depression is building up. You need to release the tension. So do that. Laugh. Go laugh some more. Maybe in private or something. Just go laugh at something. Go smile at cute things on the computer. All right. After that, it's crucial. If you stop on step 1, then Lord help you. You need to go to step 2, which is the Lord. You need to find peace. Without step 2, there is no peace. You need to go to step 2. It's cool to have step 1. It's cool to laugh. It's cool to enjoy yourself and smile like that. You need step 2. Step 2 is where you find peace. Right? Step 2, I bet it could be described in a lot of different ways. I'm sure that it could. What I'm here to tell you is something that Caitlin Nicole Davis also told you. Take that for whatever it's worth. You need to find peace. And how you do this is counterintuitive to what a lot of human beings would want to do. How you do it is you talk to God by yourself in private with no one around. And you tell God, look, I got this depression. It's getting at me. It's really getting difficult and stuff like this. I'm finding it real hard. All right. The second step is you tell God, listen, it's real hard. It's real hard. These challenges, this test that you're putting me through, sometimes I don't think that I can get through it. And what I want to say is, I am sorry. I'm so sorry for everything that I done that I wasn't supposed to do, that you told me not to do. And I still did it because I thought, oh, I'm in control. I'm a human being. I control my life and stuff. Oh, man, I'll make up the rules as I go. And I'll figure out it's all subjective. I'm just going to do whatever. All those things that you done while you thought you were doing whatever, what I'm here to tell you is you need to just apologize for that. Not to a person, not to me or anything. To God. Say, God, I'm so sorry. That's it. I'm so sorry. And all these things that I did where I thought I was in control. I thought I couldn't trust nobody. I thought nobody could care about me. And so I thought I was in control. I thought I was in control and I was off making my own rules and stuff like this. I realized that I can't even sleep at night. I realized that I'm being overwhelmed with depression. I'm realizing that I'm over my head and sometimes I feel like I'm drowning and stuff. And the thing is, I want so bad for peace. And so since I want the peace so bad, I will go ahead and apologize. What I did was wrong. And I should not do that no more. You know what I'm saying? I understand the error of my ways. I understand now. And I'm sorry. And I'm sorry. The Bible at that point would tell you to be still. These are things that most people on earth are not capable of doing. The Bible would then tell you just be still. After you apologize, after you realize, you know what, you're not perfect. You know what I'm saying? All these people out here that you were angry at, they ain't perfect either. Right? There's only one thing that's perfect. You need to apologize to him and be still. And what I'm here to tell you is if you ever hear a voice in your head saying, talking to you, that ain't God. I promise you. I guarantee it. That's not God. If anything, it is Satan. You need to tell that voice, shut the hell up. All right? And if that voice keeps talking, who cares? Shut the hell up. Any voice in your head, I don't care who the voice sounds like, it is not God. All right? It is your enemy. Just to put it very lightly. God will then show you signs. I don't know how to tell you to look for them, but he'll show you the signs, and they'll be undeniable. They will be undeniable signs. He'll show you signs every single day. All you have to do is say, I'm sorry. All you have to do is say, shit, I'm not perfect, and I messed up. I thought I was in control. I wasn't in control. I wasn't. All right? And you start to realize, people who actually think that they're in control of their lives are quite delusional. Quite delusional. Obviously you're not. There's that one saying, and we're going to wrap up this video real quick. It's that one saying, you want to make God laugh. If you ever want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Tell him about your plans, all right? Because he'll laugh his head off. He'll laugh till the sun comes up, all right? It's funny to him. You think you're in control? Obviously you're not. You need to get that up. You're not in control. All right. The sooner you figure that out, the better, because you can then give control to him. You can then say, hey, God, I messed up. I really thought I was the captain of this, and I'm not. I apologize. You're the captain. And then he'll show you. He'll show you what you need to do. And he'll show you how to get out of depression. All right, I promise you that. Anyways, y'all, we're all up in the tribulation, but like I say, although we're in the tribulation, all sort of chaos is going on. All sort of people are filled up with their hearts, all with anger, and they can't see. They have anger goggles on and stuff. They can't see reality. You see people walking around, they just don't even know what the hell's going on. That's because they're blind, all right? That's because they know not what they do, all right? We are all in the tribulation, but at the same time, we can have peace. We can have success. We can't have contentment in our hearts and stuff. We can have all this, all right? It's ours for the taking, you know what I'm saying? Because God just wanted it that way, I suppose. It's February the 8th, 2018, and I hope y'all all sleep well tonight. All right, I'll holler at y'all later.